Humans in a cardboard. Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, another vacation video. Konami is just going through with all the news this week. I'm not complaining. I still like making the videos. So today we move forward with more Justice Hunter support, like kind of out the gate. We saw them do this with actually just more recently with like a little bit of everything. When we got what were they? The not deck build packs. What were those called? Tactical Tri decks from last year, and they finally got around to making them support. They gave them indirect support. They made like Clockwork Knight for Cyber Dragons, that field spell that foolishes zombies for Eldritch, and what was the other deck? I can't even remember what the other deck is right now. But what they're doing it with other like products aside from just the deck build packs, and we also saw it with like Template Skipper and some of those other support cards for the last couple. Twins of the Eclipse, obviously, for Ryziel. They've been doing this a lot more often. So this is the wave that's going to go with Yummy, Dragon Tail, and Canine. So let's start off here with our new Dragon Tail card. That's the first one here. This is Sacramentum Dragon. By the way, not going to show anything on the screen, so if you want to follow along a little more closely, feel free to open up YG Organization. I'll put a link in the description here, so that way you can go right to the page and have access to these. But Sacramentum Dragon's the first card here. It's a level 8 Light Dragon Fusion, attack 3000, defense 1500. Its materials are 1 dragon and 1 spellcaster. Pretty basic. Pretty interesting. This card seems to be the counterpart to Mysterion, I think is the name. There's like a card we got like a couple of years ago. I want to say like 2 years ago. It was like a random generic fusion. It took a dragon and a spellcaster. This seems to be a counterpart to that. Its design is very similar, takes the same materials. I think they're connected in lore-wise some way, somehow, but I don't know. All right, for its effects, there's 3 different ones. The first effect says, this card loses 100 attack for each of your banished cards. That's a minus only, but shouldn't be too crazy. If you're playing this in Dragon Tail, you don't really banish your stuff all that often. It could be, your opponent could banish your stuff, I guess, and it could end up going down to 300, but that's nothing crazy. After that, second effect, your opponent's special summon dragon and spellcaster monsters cannot activate their effects while this fusion summon card is in the monster zone. That's the kicker on this card. This is just a straight up floodgate. They can't even attempt to activate on field, which is very, very interesting. So yeah, very, very scary effect here. This is going to affect very specific decks, but a lot of decks are going to be left untouched. But there's going to be stuff like Blue Eyes, White Forest. The Mirror Match is definitely one that could matter. And there's going to be other ones, more roguish ones, Dragon Maid, D-Link just getting Wyverburster and Collapse Serpent a little bit off the ban list. They could be a little bit better sooner. Dragon Maid getting their support next set. Like, there's going to be some backlash for this card on a couple of rogue archetypes, but yeah, I'm curious to see if this card is actually worth it, because if you blind make this, you could just be against a matchup that doesn't care, but if you do know what you're playing against, this card can be very scary in the right matchup. So yeah, now it's a little bit closed in because it's only special summoned monsters, it's only on the field, and it's only dragon and spellcasters, but still, that's still pretty good overall. So yeah. And the third effect, you can target 1 dragon and spellcaster monster in your graveyard, special one of them, and if you do, place the other on the bottom of the deck. So this card just helps you cycle names, get 1 back, which is really good, especially if one has a quick effect. I can't remember. Does the level 5 Dragon Tail one that fuses, can she fuse from field as well? I don't remember off the top of my head if she can only, I know she can discard herself, but I don't know if she can also send from the field. If so, that's really cool, because you just get her back, and now you end on this, which can mess with a certain deck, but then also still have the way to quick fuse out into something else, which is pretty nice. So that's a hard return effect. This is a pretty good card, man. I mean, in the right matchup, it's going to be killer. It's going to completely kill a deck. But in other matchups, even just being able to go through this as kind of like a fusion climb card, you fuse into this, you get like a free card off of one of the cards you send. Then you're just able to use this to reborn something, and you're able to just kind of keep going from there. This card has some real applications there as far as like fusion climbing goes, and of course being a pretty powerful floodgate. So that's a pretty good one. All right, moving on, we move to Valen, the Psychic Sky Blaster. This guy's cool. He looks like a big I actually wonder if he's related to Castell, because there's not many cards that have Sky Blaster in their name. So I would love it if they like confirm that it's related to Castell, but we'll see. He's a rank 5 Dark Psychic Exceed. This is for canines, obviously. His attack is 25, defense 22. He does take any 2 5s, so pretty generic there. He has 2 effects. Both hard ones per turn. The first effect reads, during the main phase, quick effect, you can detach a material from this card to target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change it to face-down defense position. So it's basically a walking Book of Moon. It's pretty solid. It's main phase only, which I'm sure will have some workaround, but overall the main phase is the most important one. So yeah, we'll still take it. And it's, like I said, it's walking, and it only takes 1 material to detach to do it. So you could do it on your turn. You could do it on your opponent's turn. Still have, you know, more than 1 turn worth of value off of this card. Second effect, if this card is sent to the graveyard by any means, you can target a set card and destroy it. This is the effect on this card that kind of takes it to the next level. The first effect is like, okay, that's a nice little added utility rank 5 for rank 5s in Canine, as well as rank 5s into the future. If any good rank 5 decks come along, this could be a card you look at as an end board piece, because Book of Moon, when we were in cash format a year ago or whatever, a year and a half ago, was quite strong. It's very interesting. This effect is what takes it kind of to another level of genericness for me because of 2 big things: X-Ryziel and Ultimate Slayer. This card is really interesting. There really are not great Exceed targets. In fact, Aggregator has been the only really playable, it feels like, unless you're on a water deck and just happen to be on, you know what I mean, and being able to send Toad to add stuff back. There's like, it's just Aggregator up until this point. But now you add this card as a really nice utility option for X and Ultimate Slayer. Decks are setting stuff all the time. If you can afford to play them, you're playing the Dominus cards. Everybody plays Imperm. If you do play stuff like Droplet or board breakers like Book of Eclipse and stuff, and you draw those immediately, or if you draw those going first, right, you set those. Like, there is set back row in a lot of matchups, let alone the cards you actually do search out as part of your combo to go after. So this card being able to go after set cards is quite strong. There's also the possibility that, like, actual flip decks become, like, a flip deck comes back into relevancy at some point, and this card is extra good versus them in that role. But yeah, it's a pretty good extra target for Ext and Ultimate Slayer. Also, think about Ext in the grind in Ryziel, being able to send this card to hit a back row. Imagine you're playing a back row deck, a Labyrinth type deck. Now, and then you make Detonator, you're able to reattach this, and now you're able to, like, keep going after back row, like, over and over and over again. That's where this card gets really scary. So at the end of the day, it is still just going after back row or set cards in general. So it's not like the end of the world, but it is a nice addition for that lineup of Exceed send cards for those weird cards like Ext and Ultimate Slayer. So keep that one in mind. And lastly, finished here with our Yummy support card. A lot of people thought Yummy was going to be the best, but we've actually been seeing that Yummy's not been performing the best of the 3 so far in the OCG. Has some clear weaknesses, even though it has a lot of strengths as well. Very curious to see how that develops. But yeah, so this card, it's got a crazy name. This card clearly has similar artwork to the V-Jump promo we got a couple months ago. It was the Light Beast one that was clearly designed to help Yummy and the Ancient Fairy Dragon archetype that we got. This card is called Ukano Mitsune no Onari. Doing my best. This is a link to Light Beast. Its attack is 1500. Its links point straight down and straight to the left. Materials are any 2 light monsters, including a beast. So you do have to use a light beast to use this, which it is going to lock this into a fewer amount of archetypes, which is probably good because this card's pretty scary as well. Yeah. This card has 3 different effects. The first effect reads, if this card is link summoned, you can target one quick play spell in your graveyard, set it. Yeah, that's the first and most important effect on this card. Very, very scary. Obviously, you can talk about, like we mentioned, some of the generic cards that exist. If you're on Breakers and you're playing Droplet or Book of Eclipse, just generic good quick play spells. On top of that, getting a Called by the Grave back. Like, you already protected your play with a Called by the Grave or a Crossout Designator. I know they're both at 1 now, but it can happen. If you play them, you're going to draw them at some point. stopping something and then being able to get them back to then also stop a talents on your opponent's turn or whatever is really, really strong. So there's really good applications for that. There's also in-engines quick play spells. Yummy has a quick play spell. If you play the Sky Striker engine, they're going to go through the what's it called? The Hornet drones. Jesus. So you're going to be able to get Hornet drones back, set that up, or even go for something like a Widow Anchor. If you play that as part of that engine as well, you could get that back if you already used it to hit something else. So yeah, there's definitely really good applications for this card, and I don't think there's any super clear options for the AFD deck in terms of quick plays, but they should be getting another wave of support. Even in this set, I would expect, and I would not be surprised if one of their new cards includes like a quick play spell that's quite good, and then this card has even more, you know, another level of play that it adds to it. Second effect on this card is that you cannot target your opponent cannot target cards in the field zone with card effects. That's really nice, especially more so for the AFD stuff, but even for Yummy too. They like to have at least one of their 2 field spells up at all times, so just being able to protect those, just an icing on the cake effect. And thirdly, if this card is destroyed, you can choose one of the following effects up to the number of cards in the field zone and apply them in sequence. Your 2 effects you get to choose between are destroy 1 card your opponent controls, non-targeting, pretty nice. And the other one is inflict 1,500 damage to your opponent. So technically this offers these types of decks like a win con, but you have to be able to summon this and have another way to destroy it. Because like luckily enough, this card doesn't have to be destroyed by like an opponent's card. You can destroy it yourself to trigger out one of these effects to get a pop or the burn, or if you have 2 field spells, if 2 field spells are in rotation, potentially both. But it's potentially a time win con, although I think we've been doing better at time in Yu-Gi-Oh! It hasn't seemed to be as big of a topic as of lately, because I just think we've been doing a better job at it not feeling stupid and degenerate. But yeah, this is a fine card too. I think obviously the most powerful thing is getting back any quick play spell. That's crazy. Because they can just act as trap cards set on the field. So that's a big, that's a big bonus of like making this, setting it back, and then now it's just another interruption for you. You got all of that. But yeah, it's solid. I think all 3 of these cards are right where you kind of want them to be. I think Sacramentum Dragon is a little bit scary. I think it's the most scary out of these just because it's like, it is just floodgatey, and we're just like, come on, Konami, you've been doing such a good job banning floodgates recently and getting them out of the game, and then you just print stuff like this. I know it's not going to be all the time, but there are going to be certain times where if Dragon Tail is good, you will just get matched up against it. And if you're on a Spellcaster or Dragon deck, you may just lose outright to this card. So hopefully that's not the case in abundance, but yeah, I think all 3 of these cards have good application in not even just the deck that they're designed for, but even other decks as well. And I think that leaves for pretty good design there. I think all of them are not going to like super break any of these decks even further, but they're all nice pieces for them overall. So that's kind of where I land on all these cards here. Sorry if this video is a little long, but I had enough time to do extra research on these and have a little extra points to talk about on them. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on these cards down below in the comment section. And how good you think they are, how much you think they elevate some of these certain decks. I'd be curious to hear where you guys land on those. I'm out of here for today, though. I'll keep you posted on all things news going forward. Subscribe to the channel for more of that stuff. We'll be home in a couple days and get back to the regular setup. I'm out of here. Peace.